Hi, my name's Mark, one of the pastors here at Trillium. I've got a question for you. Do you believe in God? I was watching a YouTube video with Jordan Peterson in it. You may have heard of Peterson. He's become a kind of digital celebrity, a new celebrity on YouTube, a cultural critic. He teaches at U of T. But it's his work on YouTube that's really been so impactful in his life. And he's asked the question, do you believe in God? People want to know that because he has a lot to say about religion and religious thinking. In fact, he's quite sympathetic to it. So people want to know what he believes, what he actually personally believes. Do you believe in God, Jordan Peterson? And he seems really reluctant to answer in a simplistic way, a yes or no statement. He doesn't want to get boxed in by the answer, to be slotted in a sense. To get caught up in this binary choice, this simplistic binary choice. So he answers the question this way: I act as if God exists. Now it's clear to me, having watched quite a bit of material with Peterson in it, that he's talking about the God of the Bible, and specifically the God of the New Testament, the God of love, the God revealed in Jesus, the God of perfect love. That's the God he's talking about. He acts as if the God of love exists. And I've been mulling over the difference between believing in God and acting as if God exists. A couple of years back in the National Post, they had a survey, and they invited people to respond to the simple question: Do you believe in God? They didn't ask the follow-up question, which I think is the more important question. What does your belief actually mean? Do you act as if God exists? How does your belief in God get translated into the practice of your life? Does it shape the way you live? How does it shape the way you live? Because I think there's a big difference between believing in God and acting as if God exists. I think it would have a huge impact, the difference between the two, and the way that we practice generosity in life. I mentioned that generosity path, 0 to 100 scale, arbitrary scale, 0 being total self-absorption, narcissism, self-centeredness, and 100 being that total sense of generous self-giving of oneself to others. And almost divine generosity. And how no matter where we find ourselves on the path, the goal is moving towards generosity, towards perfect generosity. It's the direction we're heading in. It's the critical question. And it seems to me that if we took seriously that God existed, that we acted as if God existed, that would move us down the path of generosity to the 100 goal in life, in a way that just believing in God wouldn't. Joshua Becker, in an article that we've been using over the last few weeks, 10 simple ways to become a more generous person, at the 5th way suggests the following: divert one specific expense to the practice of generosity in your life. One specific expense for 1 month to the practice of generosity. It could mean foregoing coffee on Mondays or Thursdays if you prefer. It might mean, suspending our Rogers cable for a month and diverting that expense over to the practice of generosity in our lives. It could be anything, really. Anything that you can think of that you're prepared to give up for 1 month and divert it instead to the practice of generosity for others in life. And what's amazing about this practice, for 1 month we begin to start shaping our lifestyle around our beliefs. Acting as if God exists is a kind of belief. We begin to shape our life around our understanding of how the universe works, instead of the other way around, shaping our faith around our lifestyle. In the New Testament, a young rich ruler comes to Jesus. He asks Jesus how he's to inherit eternal life, the ultimate gift of God, the total 100 point of generosity to God towards us. And Jesus says to him, well, you follow the commandments? Yeah. Give away all you have to the poor and come follow me. Just give it all away. Of course, young rich ruler is devastated by this. He walks away sadly. He can't do it. He's not prepared to allow God's goodness and grace to him in its full expression to change him. How far down the generosity path, young man, are you prepared to walk today? Are you prepared to allow God's grace to lead you? Not too far. You know, there's a lot of people in the world who say they believe in God. I wonder how many act as if God exists.